Morning, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or my live feeds, simply take what resonates and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Welcome back. It is so good to see you all. It's been a little bit. I did have to take a couple of days off last week to kind of recover and recoup. I am feeling much better, not quite 100%, but I am about 95 99 5 95% back to myself. Like, I don't think we could ever get enough rest and relaxation in, and that's probably where the other 5% comes in. It's good to see you all. I've got a lot to talk about this morning. I got two sides here to review. You guys feeling the intensity coming in? There is some intensity coming in, some energy, some big feelings. Um, and that we're going to be processing this week. And a lot of it is really good as well. I'm just curious before I get started here, how many of you have been feeling just a little bit of that lonely energy, a little bit of that lonely, like you sit by yourself kind of feeling? Here I am, all by myself sitting here. I'm just curious if some of you are feeling a little bit like that, if there's just been like this slight lonely vibration. Doesn't necessarily mean that you are alone, but maybe that you're feeling a little bit of alone, a little bit of isolation, even though you may have all kinds of people around you and all kind, like you're supported, and you've got spirit. There's just that loneliness, right? There's just that feeling of here I am, all alone. Maybe perhaps you're feeling the need to be alone. Perhaps you're feeling the need to just kind of retreat or just kind of withdraw or just kind of sit by yourself kind of feeling. I wish I had more time alone kind of feeling. I'm just kind of wondering if many of you are feeling that. Yeah, a few of you are feeling that. Yep, feeling very alone a little bit. Yes. So some of the stuff that's coming up with that feeling, and you know how I always say, sit with how you feel. Your feelings matter. Your feelings come up for a reason. There's a deep message and a deep thought that's trying to kind of connect with you, your higher self, your inner self, your soul. There's that space of needing to come in to sit with the essence of who you truly are. And sometimes, physical world energy, when it comes into us, we don't always take the time to sit and process it or sit and feel what's underneath that. Sometimes we're feeling the need to be alone or a little bit loneliness, because we need to kind of come inwards to give ourselves some time with that, the essence of who we are, your true self energy. Now, I want to ask this now, okay? So now I asked about that lonely space. With that, with those of you who said yes, I do feel that. I feel like I need to be alone, or I feel a little bit lonely. Is there a part of you that you have been holding back on showing people? Is or shining through? Or is there a part of you that holds yourself very private, or that doesn't get you don't get a chance to be who you really are? Here we go. Yes, totally. I thought you were talking about me for a second. Feeling very lonely. Yes. So with that, with those feelings, remember to give yourself that time, right? To sit, to feel it, to process. Is there something that you're processing? Or is there a part of you that you're holding back from showing people? And that can be a big one for many of us. I've had my own moments where, I've held myself back in life from showing the world who I am. And then Spirit whispered to me, remember, it only takes one star to shine, right? When a star does shine alone, like it doesn't need other stars to shine. And sometimes we feel like we're not bright enough, and we feel like we can't show up, and sometimes we can't, right? And I understand that, but do you give yourself the opportunity to shine bright, even if it's for yourself? And that is going to kind of push through a little bit this week. We're going to feel that need to sit up straight and shine for ourselves, or show up in a group and shine bright, or we're going to feel the desire to be more of who we are. Who are you when you're alone? Who are you when you're alone? Right. So that's kind of a little bit of what's going to kind of like bubble up a little bit. And with that, and I'm going to add something else to ask you. How many of you who have answered yes so far to a couple of my questions have been a little bit achy or headachy? A little bit of achy, like that just that stiffness, that achiness. Part of that may be blending in with you as well, and it's this desire to really shine bright. Yes, here we go with some validation. I promise I'm going to get to some of your questions here when I get a chance. Um, I just want to go through the energy update because I have to watch the time. Now, with this intensity and it's going to come out for some of you with this, and remember this also goes back to other people that are that you're around. You may see some people that aren't answering your texts right away. You may see some people that just kind of want to withdraw. They may not be as talkative around you, or they may not be as present as they normally are. That is kind of the energy that they're coming into. And what it is, I asked Spirit, well, why? And it's a release of repressed emotions. I know, right? I was like, okay. It was this release of okay, I've been holding myself back. I've been, kind of, afraid to shine. And we're going to be shifting out of that and working through the repressed emotions. Now, and here's where people go, the repressed emotions, right. But when we hold back those repressed emotions, they kind of start to say, what about this? And what about that? And what about this feeling? And here's that. Then we kind of shift into a little bit later in the week, a little bit of questioning it. Is this how I really feel? Is this my truth? Right? That is part of the reason that we're kind of, for some of us, wanting to be alone, or wanting to kind of, or feeling that loneliness. Remember, you have done all the inner work. Okay. Right. Remember that you've done a lot of your own inner work. You've done a lot of your healing work. You've done a lot of your throat, chakra clearing. You've done a lot of speaking your truth. This is now the next step of that. This is kind of coming into that next step. And be in your compassion, be in your connection, be in your kindness, be in your gentleness. Allow yourself to be in that, and allow that to kind of like flow. We kind of pull ourselves back from those feelings. We kind of like don't want to talk about the loneliness, don't want to say to people, I just need some space, right? I just need that space. We kind of come into that space of going back into that not speaking. And because we've done so much of our own inner work and we've done a lot of that, this feeling is actually a transformation of stepping up and allowing things to flow. Where you're sitting right now is a shift. It's actually a shift. But we tend to like wobble, here's that wobble, in those feelings of loneliness, in those feelings of wanting to sit by ourselves, wanting less. We kind of struggle a little bit like that because of, we're taught that it's either not polite, or we need to be this, or we need to be that, or we need to be this. So as you're navigating through the week, just kind of remember what I've said. It's okay to sit and just be alone, to have those moments, feel those feels. Opportunities are flowing. We are pushing past right now what has not been working for us, and opportunities are flowing with lessons. Ooh, right. And I got quite, charged up when Spirit gave me those words. We are pushing forward. We're pushing past what's not working, and we need that quiet time, and we need that time to kind of sit, and you may need to sit to do more releasing work. You may need to feel, to sit by yourself, or just be by yourself, or have an hour by yourself to kind of let it go. We're coming into another big transformation. Some more shifting energy is coming. I feel like, again, as we lean into the fall is another big letting go. But I also felt new opportunities and learning. We're moving past a lot of things. And that had me very, very excited. I'll be honest with you. I was very, very excited to feel that as a collective, we are taking steps forward. There is a lot that's falling into place. And when things fall into place, other things fall out of place, whether that be, situations, people, friendships, we were coming into that, and it's okay. Right. So I just needed to pass on that message. There is an intensity feeling coming. And sometimes with that intensity, and then we kind of say, wow, I really feel alone. We kind of get panicked. Listen to it. Listen to what you're feeling. Ooh, it was extremely, I felt extremely excited with all of my channeling this morning. It only takes one star to light the sky, and you've got to light your own sky with your own light. Beautiful words from Spirit this morning. It was a glorious way to start off the week, at least with the channeling. Um, so I hope that that resonates with you. If you need to withdraw, if you need to uncover your deepest thoughts and feelings, give yourself the time. Laura, thank you for the confirmation of transformation and shedding of things no longer serving us. I've not felt myself recently and needed to hear this. I'm so glad, Laura, and thank you for letting me know that this energy update, and thank you all for letting me know that you're feeling some of these feelings. And remember, if you're not, just watch for it in other people because it's important as well. I'm always aware of how other people are feeling too. And sometimes we can take what other people are feeling very personal. What do you mean they're not talking to me? Well, they're not answering my text, or they're not themselves with me. They're going through some of these feelings and some of this processing as well. So, whatever line of work you're in or your people that are around you the most often, just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Let us jump into some questions. I can't stay. I have an appointment. Just sending love to all, and I'll catch the replay. Wishing you a glorious day. That's what she said. Kayla, I hope you're feeling better. I am feeling better. So I'll share a little bit as to why I wasn't feeling great last week. I do struggle with rheumatoid arthritis, and I had stopped my medication for my trip to Ireland. Self-inflicted. So when I went back on that medication, I did have to revisit some of the side effects of my rheumatoid arthritis medication. And one of those feelings was just, some extreme tiredness. So I am much better. I am very good with my self-care. That's one thing that I have learned. A big lesson for me was learning to say, I need to take a break. So I honored that last week and I took my break. And here I am very much rejuvenated on this glorious Monday morning. Yeah, look at all the validation here. Wow, you guys. I haven't been, but my hubby has been. See, there you go, Spring. And this is a really good example of being able to understand why some people are feeling the way that they're feeling. It does give us that feeling. Brian, yeah, Brian, yes, a little. It's good to see you here, Brian, too. Mandy, good morning. Okay, let's just jump to some questions. Yes, a little bit. It's like it is I like to be alone. Wes, Len, I had a scary dream last night that was quite intense, but the picture and sound quality of that dream was very poor due to the love and protection from you. Wes, and love and protection from yourself too. You've been doing a lot of your own work, a lot of your own spiritual work, and I'm very proud of you for that. A lot of feeling very lonely. Look at that. Yeah, the validation is always so profound, even for me. I don't know, it just feels so profound. Kayla, extremely private. I hold back. And I think sometimes, so I just want to jump into what Kayla's statement there. Sometimes we do know when we need to hold back. There are situations where we just can't, and honoring that too. But sitting with, am I holding back myself too much? Right. And if am I spending too much time in places or around people that I can't be my authentic self? That is a question, that we often have to ask ourselves too. Or is this coming from fear? Am I afraid to be myself? Is it something that I need to work on a little bit too? But, and, Kayla, there are times, even for me, Spirit will say to me, now's not a good time to do any channeling. This isn't the place. And I'll trust that. Right. So, but it doesn't come from that place of fear, or it doesn't come from a place of I can't. It's just that knowing. So sometimes there's a knowing that you can't. It's just not the place. And sometimes it's coming from with us. We're just afraid to shine. Camilla, sorry. My fiance is looking for a job. I'm wondering if Spirit has something to say about that. He felt alone, and we talked about it last night. He's very private about his feelings. Um, it's great that he has, opened up and talked. And I also feel like he's learning, even though you've been together a while, I think that he's learning that this is a space that it's completely safe to talk, and it's completely safe to share. And there's no judgment here. And sometimes it can take a while, and there's another layer to that, right? I do feel, Camilla, that a job is coming for him. It literally feels like it's right around the corner. When I asked Spirit that, I literally went, it's right around the corner. And I also feel that I feel like he's been shifting into doing more of what he wants. Camilla, does that make sense? Yes, I feel he needs a job and he's willing to take anything, but I feel like he's also kind of looking at what feels really good for me too. And I have to say, good, well done. Andrea, very private, yes. Um, this resonates so deep with me. when when it helps you guys so much, and it also helps me. The energy updates also help me too. Shy, there was the past weekend, but I decided to move to my parents early so that I can let that part of me out. Well done. Travis, glad to see you again. I have been in Argentina for 2 months now, healing and just enjoying a new lease on life. I'm curious if Spirit has any messages for me about what's next or anything else. Travis, I feel like the word that's come to me is surrender, surrendering to what needs to be and just simply allowing. I feel like you're doing much better with the power of now. I feel like you've worked really hard on being able to into that power of now. I just feel like I have to really, really work on the feelings of surrendering. I'm just going to completely go deeper with trust. I'm going to completely allow myself to heal. I'm not going to hold back. Sometimes we'll say, okay, I'm going to heal, but not this part. How I'm sorry, right? I feel like you're coming into that surrendering space, and I also feel like your own inner eyes are wide open, are going to be coming. They're not quite wide open yet, but I can feel you coming more into that wide open about yourself and what you want, and what's working and what's not working, and what needs to be let go. I feel like you're loosening up to that, and I have to say, and this can be not just for Travis, but for anybody who's listening. Sometimes it's hard to look within. And I just have to say, Travis, remember to, as you're working through what you're going to self discover that's in there, it's for your highest good, right? Sometimes we discover things about ourselves. And again, this is for for the group of you listening. Sometimes we discover parts of ourselves. Oh, right, like I didn't handle that well, or I didn't see that before. And I just have to say, allow yourself to heal it. So, watch for that hard on yourself, watch for that ignoring it, watch for that, that critical. I don't know if you can be, I don't know if you can be very critical on yourself, but sometimes we all can. Watch for that, Travis, as you discover new versions of yourself, or as you do the self-reflection, because sometimes we discover that it was our learning and we didn't see it, and we can become very head down, right? So just kind of remember that I said that, Travis, and enjoy the journey. So much validation here today. I love that. I figured out the situation with that woman I sent you a message about. Turns out she wanted to warn me about something. Yeah, and so Shy, I'll give a little bit of a backstory, a little bit. I won't overshare, but Shy had reached out to me with an energy that was really trying hard to get her attention, and whether the timing may, sometimes we can't always listen, or we're too tired, or whatever the situation may be, and sometimes a message can really be pushed. And I've had this come up with me a lot with spirit. I'm like, yeah, not right now, not right now, not right now. Or why is this coming up? Why is this coming up? And when the message really needs to be heard, it will keep coming up and the volume will get turned up louder. So I'm glad, Shy, that you figured it out and that you were able to hear and that you were able to get that warning. Um, Spirit is relentless, whether they're sending us messages for other people or whether it be from the spirit dimensions. They are relentless, and they will turn up the volume when they really want to get our attention. So I always say watch for that, watch for those repeat things. I've really worked hard on trying to catch it right away, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's like, why does this keep coming up to me, up for me? Why is this persistent? And I'm not really listening. Right. So then I will say, okay, everything else has to wait. I got to make time to hear this. It happens a lot, and it can happen in many, many, many. It can just be repeats of situations. Why does the same lesson keep coming up? Why do I keep hearing the same thing from spirit? It can come at us in many different ways. Body aches, so stiff. Yeah, it's going to, and I just want to come back to my notes. I put them aside for a minute. I want to come back to where I channeled that. When we hold on to energy, and sometimes body aches is our body aches, but when there's no real reason for being stiff, I shouldn't be stiff, or why am I so achy? Why do I feel like I need to stretch? Quite often we're holding on to energy in our physical body. Right. So Kayla and who else mentioned that? Shaz. So the two of you that has said my body aches, so stiff. I would like you to just kind of sit when you can this week. Do I need to sit and feel feel my own energy. Is there something that I need to let go? And if it doesn't come to you, just simply let the body aches go. Just simply let it go. Give yourself some time. The physical world can be very, very busy, and we often don't take that time, right? We often don't take that time to just kind of like, So, when if you feel that ache come in, sit with it. Sometimes we're not giving ourselves that time to be alone. So just kind of remember that I said it. Aaron, here we go. Aaron, I've been achy and headachy. Yeah. So what has been, so, and I'm always very, always be very honest. Sometimes a headache is a headache, but if it's coming up and it's connecting to other things that I've said, then listen up. Then give yourself some time to be alone. Maybe you just need the time to be alone, right? And if it's an hour or 5 minutes or half a day, give yourself that time to be alone. Um, and I had to sit up and listen up too because I have been very busy and keeping things, and I'm very busy, and I'm like, I haven't had any downtime just with me, myself, and I. Right. So, it's either other people or spirit. Even with spirit, it's like, okay, I need to just kind of pause it here. Very good. Very good. Wow. The validation this morning, headache, achy, incredibly sore, incredible. I know I'm bright. I stopped myself. Shine bright. I really love how Spirit wrote that. It only takes one star to light the sky. I literally have like goosebumps, and just felt that spiritual moment. I love that so much. Don't hold yourself back. Shine bright. Aaron, and good morning. I'm listening, but also driving. Aaron, stay safe. Safe travels wherever you're heading to. Um, Mandy, achy and headache, feeling sluggish. What? Interesting. Shaz, if my spirit guide has one message for me, what would it be? Oh, I love how you worded that, Shaz. It is a common one, Shaz, but it was hollered at me. You are enough. You are enough. So you need to hear that. Um, and I also heard really feel it. So hearing something and feeling it and accepting it are two very different things. And I just suddenly I got that feeling right into my heart. You need to feel it. Cynthia, I feel alone and sad. I've had such an awful start to the year. Do you see it getting better for me and my son? Any messages from my dad? Literally, I seen two sets of feet, and I seen you both taking steps together. So you and your son are taking steps forward. I do feel like the forward momentum is cover is your. I don't feel like it's coming. I feel like it's already started, and I feel it. I lean into it with healing energy. I feel like you have started that process of taking those steps forward. Dad is reminding you that some steps forward you may not be able to see them because sometimes they're like teeny tiny baby steps, or sometimes it feels like we're standing still. And he wants you to know that it's okay. It's okay to take our time. The journey is not a rush, and you need to take your time. And sometimes we take steps quickly, and sometimes they're very small, and sometimes it feels like we're standing still. He's also saying you're both right where you need to be right now. And I feel like I've got framework around me. Like I feel like I've got like support beams. And this is kind of interesting. If you can find a beam or even a tree where you can kind of lean, I need to get you to lean and feel the support. Dad's showing me that if you can do that, you will feel him in the support beam. I love that. I love that. Like just, even a wall, right? Just lean into the support and know that it's there. And when you do that, you will feel him. And I don't know if there's a construction reference to that, but I can see like framework. It doesn't have to make sense for me, but he keeps showing me the framework and standing in the framework to feel the support. I hope that makes sense there. Spring, that makes sense why my mom wasn't as talkative as yesterday. Yeah. Oh no, emotions scary. Haha, so shy. Yeah, we're always afraid of those emotions. I try to embrace them all. Oh lordy, that's me. I didn't sleep good all night, super early this morning. My breathing is hard and I don't know why or what I inhaled. I keep waking up because my head is aching. Um, Easy puff. Give yourself some time this week to do some deep breathing and with meditation work, with like with breath work. And of course, as I always say, if you feel like it's more of a medical, please seek that guidance. I feel like I've got to kind of do the breath work. I feel like, and it feels like an anxiety energy to me. So I don't know if you've been having some anxiety or if you've been holding on to some anxiety, but I feel it like I have to do some breath work. Just breathing to a counter, like 1, 2, 3, breathe. Like I feel like I need to kind of slow it down to more of a rhythm. Have you been feeling easy puff? Here's how I want to word it. Have you been feeling out of your groove? Have you been feeling out of rhythm? Because I keep feeling like I have to go to a rhythm, breathing to a rhythm. I feel like I have to get back into my rhythm, back into my groove. I hope that resonates there with you. Um, Sandra, does Spirit have any messages for me today? There's been some huge shifts and growth. Excited to see what happens next. I just literally had a journal flop pop just in my spiritual awareness with a pen. And so I don't know if you've been journaling or if you need to journal, but I feel like I've got to get some more things out or some more things planned. So, just kind of like allowing that with no, just I'm just going to allow, this is kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, I'd love to do this. I also feel a lot of excitement, and I feel, Sandra, for the first time, it's like you've pushed past something. Like I feel like it's like, and here's what Spirit's written. It's official. They're funny today. My readings today are going to be very interesting because I'm just kind of feeling that spunk with them. I feel like it's official. I've officially worked through something. I've officially gotten here. It's official, and I feel like I've got to be like a big announcer. Like I feel like I've got to in Spirit saying like just share it out loud. I've done this, right? Just kind of whether you do it to the mirror or to other people, or if you make a post and say it's official, whatever. And I feel so excited. Wow, that's incredible. Um, it's almost like I need to say when you announce it, and you did it here today, you Sandra, you announced it, so I'm excited, right? So I feel like I've got to kind of keep that energy moving through, right? I feel like I've got to keep, jump on that momentum and I also feel with that growth, I need to remind you that growth happens, in very different ways at different timelines and different speeds, right? So, because you've got a big taste of it now, and that's the momentum that you're going to stay in. And sometimes even with growth, and there are many people here, including myself, that will tell you, it's been like, yes, growth, and then it's like, oh, more lessons. Right? So but I feel like you've tackled on the oh, more lessons with more of an oh, more lessons, great, rather than more lessons. I feel like you've tackled that, right? So good, well done for you. We applaud you on that. I heard a song recently that meant I heard a song recently that mentally abused used to play, because my ex used to play, and I had a reaction, found some repressed emotions. Aaron, well done letting them loose. Well done letting them loose. And sometimes, Aaron, something like that will come up that is meant to help us release, right? It'll be like, oh, I found something in there, and you released it. Look at the growth on that. Look at the growth in that too. Yes, it's hard when we find something within us that doesn't feel good or that brings us back, but come on back into, wow, I've really healed that situation. And there's been a lot that I've learned and a lot that I've healed. And is there anything else that I'm working through? Aaron, I feel so bubbly with you. Like I just feel like you just got this bubbly energy with it all. So well done. Kayla, opportunities are flowing with lessons. This really resonates for me. I need to release. At night, I overthink like crazy, and my negative thoughts are shifting the energy. So, Kayla, and I know I've probably said this before. I'm gonna have a little sip of my coffee here, guys. So, Caleb, when we get our negative thoughts and they come into us, one thing that has really helped me, and as well as other people that I've talked to, when we acknowledge them as a thought and not the essence of who we are, because if we just kind of push down, they keep coming up. So you can write it down and burn it, acknowledge it. Yep, but that's not my truth. Acknowledge it as, where's this coming from? Where's this negative thought coming from? Is this trying to teach me something else to heal? And we all have negative thoughts. We all have those negative thoughts. Right? And I chuckle because Guilty. Every now and again, not good enough. Every now and again, like it's that thought. Acknowledge it. No, it's not who I am. Not who I am. It's just a thought. It's just a thought, right? So when we kind of lighten and see how I can feel that lightening you already. The overthinking is something that some of us are still learning it, and overthinking it takes a long time to truly get off, right? And Kayla, insert some other things. I'm not sure if you already have these in your spiritual practices, but insert more spiritual practices. When the negative thinking starts or the overthinking starts, literally get off the hamster wheel. Get up and move your body. Get up and meditate, or go for a walk. Do some breath work. Or give it permission to go. It's just a thought. It's just a thought, right? Watch the self judgment with yourself as well. Well, because we do self judge rather than change how we're thinking. The other thing that will really help, Kayla, and this is kind of something that I will still go back to as a tool if I find myself overthinking. I literally make an appointment with spirit. So I literally put up my Google Calendar. Okay, where I'm gonna sit down with spirit, and this is what I want to put on the table. And if I feel back that this is just an overthinking or an old pattern, then I work on it. If I feel like or I'll ask for some healing or for some help. If I make that appointment to sit with that overthinking at another time, it is rather than when I'm trying to fall asleep, it will help break that pattern. The reason we overthink at night is because that is the time that our brains tend to want to quiet it down, and then things come in that we haven't thought about during the day, right? So that's quite often with that. So I still do this. I have a timeline. For me, it's in the morning. I sit and say, okay, what's bothering me? What do I feel? What do I know? I'm going to chat with spirit about it. Try that, Kayla, and come back at me at another time for more tips, or if it helped or didn't help. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that from you, Kayla. Um, Good morning, Lana. Do spirit guides have any messages for me today? We are in holding with housing. Okay, so Spring, you've been in holding places before, right? So I feel like I have to say that you've been here before. You've been in holding. You've been in a holding place before. Hold the line. Hold the line. So, I trust the pause. And look at it this way, if the pause is because a better place is coming for you, trust it. You don't want to push something so hard so that you end up where you don't want to be, because we can do that. Right? Maybe not necessarily in this situation, but we can push and push and push and push and push, and it's like gong show. I pushed to the gong show, right? I've done that. I've pushed, right? And it's like, yeah, right. It's almost like trust that you're being guided, trust that the pause, trust that the hold is for something better, rather it be a better housing, whether it be for a better situation. If spirit says hold the line. And that's what I do. I hold the line. I'm going to hold the line. Right? I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to reflect. I'm going to hold the line because it's for a reason that we may not understand why it's being held. So trust, even though it can be frustrating as it comes, it can be frustrating when we find ourselves in that holding place. When I find myself in a holding place, I automatically go. It's because something that's meant for me is coming, and the timelines haven't just quite done this yet, right? Because think about it, how many times, and each and every one of us will probably nod that we pushed for something, we pushed and we pushed and we pushed, and spirit kept, or the universe, whatever wording you want to use, kept saying, no, not that way. No, not that way. Just hold the line. Right. And I literally, have had that happen with spirit so many times. They will say, hold the line, or pause and hold. Right. And it happens a lot for me. And I have learned to say, okay, I don't like to pause and hold, but I'm gonna trust it. That's kind of where I'll dig in. Is okay. What's coming from me needs a moment. It needs a moment to line up. I love that rant, by the way. I love that. I love when spirit says, "Hold the line" to me. Pause it, right? I just know. I just know that something better than what I think I want is coming. So, and I get very excited about that. I do, because I know when I'm in that space, I know my manifestations are coming at me. I know that what's for my highest good is coming at me. I know that what I want is coming at me. Hold the line. All right. Peyton, I'm noticing my parents' health is really declining, and it feels like on my shoulders. Does Spirit have any messages for the health status of my mother? Peyton, I felt that. I felt that, Peyton. So I just need a moment to kind of process that for just a moment. I felt that. So I really and I did feel like it, I felt it like sandbags, is how it came at me. And I feel like I need to say there is only so much that you can do. And I feel like early intervention with help is where I feel like I need to kind of say to you, it with a few of the sandbags you will carry and a few of them you can't. And I feel like I have to say it's okay to unpack some of these sandbags. And now you're probably thinking, well, how can I, hand that off? I feel like I've got to lean into other resources, Peyton. I feel like you're going to be coming into that investigate where other resources can come in and carry a few of your sandbags. So, looking into the healthcare system, looking into, and I'm just kind of brainstorming with some ideas here, looking, being prepared to know what services there are available to help you, help support you, help carry it. Is there anybody else around you that can help carry it? And I feel like I've got it, and I literally have to dig. Like I have to go digging for those resources. And I also feel like I have to say, don't wait until you're in that situation. Do your research. Do your research on what can be available to you so that as things progress, you can say, okay, there was that tool. Okay, there was that contact. I feel like I've got to kind of just get ahead of this a little bit so that I know where my resources are. Um, and Peyton, and you can answer here if you don't want to. You can message me. Um, was this with your mom's health kind of? I felt fragile, but I felt like I was coasting, and I suddenly felt like it was a dip down, and I feel like I'm here. So I feel like I was here, took a dip, and now I'm here. Like I feel like it was almost like I'm going to use the word a sudden shift in that, or I didn't like I thought it should be okay a little bit longer here before there was a dip. I just feel surprised by the dip and the decline. Like the decline for me felt like it was like a straight down for a bit. Does that make sense to you how I'm seeing that, Peyton? Laura, thank you for the confirmation of transformation and shedding of things no longer serving us. You're very welcome. um I've not felt myself recently and needed to hear this. Well done, Laura. And you're welcome. You're very welcome. Lana, did the meteor shower have an impact with us spiritually, especially us with that extra? Yeah. Um, Media showers and energy. So, and this is a big question. And so some of us are affected by certain energies. We're just more sensitive to them. Some of us are more affected by the full moon. Some of us are not. Some of us are more affected by meteor showers. Some of us are not. Some of us really resonate with it, and some of us don't. Right. So, and I always say, when you connect to a certain energy, and you flow with that energy, and you're sensitive with that energy, that energy is part of your teacher committee, if you will. Energy comes us to teach. That energy, comes to teach us or to help us work through things. And it also can shift. There are times where the full moon, I love the full moon. I have a different outlook on the full moon or the moon cycles than other people. Right. Some people, really feel retrograde energy. Some people don't. So I feel that it's very, very individual, and some of us are affected by it more than others. Um, and sometimes it's also a guide to bring some of us into what resonates with us, right? For the longest time, astrology energy, I had no interest in it, and then it just kept coming up for me. It kept coming up for me. Now, do I dive deep into it? No, but there was knowledge there for me to and wisdom there for me that I needed personally to help me. Right. So some of us, yes, and some of us, no. And it can shift and it can change at all times too. Right. So, and I always say it's okay if it doesn't resonate with you, right? We're all having our own experience and our own journey with it, right? It's the same thing with like different modalities of healing. Some people have great benefits with Reiki. Some people don't. It's an individualized, path. And thank you so much for your great questions here this morning, you guys. Um, Ina, all makes sense. Okay, all these make sense. Makes me okay. All this. Sorry, now I can't read. All this makes me want to know, how is my professional life going to be? I'm just not focusing that. I lost a lot of time. So it may feel like you've lost a lot of time, but I also feel that it's always been about right now. I feel that. I feel that very deep. I feel like you weren't necessarily ready. I feel like there were lessons to learn. I feel like you had to navigate what you really wanted for yourself. And I feel like even though, and I get it, I truly do, because I've said to myself, why did I wait so long to, bring my mediumship forward? Why did I wait so long? And spirit has always answered me with, you just weren't ready and it's okay. It's always about right now. You were still learning lessons in order to get you here. Your professional life, and I feel such at home energy. I feel like this welcome home energy, and I feel like you're prepared, and I feel like I have to say it's never too late. It's never too late. I mean, I've got a really good friend of mine who just turned 65, and she's went back to college. She applied, got in for this fall, and she's like, "Am I going to feel like a little old lady?" And I said, "Only if that's the energy that you're going to step into." Right? It's never too late to say, this is who I want to be now. Right? It's kind of like this, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you can ask yourself that when you're either 5 years old, 45 years old, 65 years old. Like the soul is eternal. So you can always ask yourself that. What do I want to do? I want to try this. Right? And good for you. I feel like there is a lot of joy, and I feel like it's like a homecoming. I get to be who I am right now. Right? Well done, you. I'm in the energy of needing to be alone. Solitude is a wonderful place. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of healing in solitude too. Mandy, anything from my spirit guides? Mandy, spirit is literally wiping the tears. I can and I had to take a big breath in and feel that. I can literally feel like, like they're literally wiping them. And as they flow, as tears do, they're there supporting you. And I feel like you're deeper connected with the experiences that you've been through. Even though it's been a rocky road, I feel like your trust has gotten deeper. And I feel that, yes, we all go kicking and screaming sometimes, and we all have a lot of heavy stuff to carry. I feel like they're just, it's beyond the vibration of proud that you've always kept them with you. And I just feel like they're I feel like it's higher than the vibration of being proud of you. I just feel like the connection has deepened with them. And I feel like the path forward is going to be like with your own spirituality and with your spirit guides. I feel like there's a depth that you haven't experienced before. And with a new depth, we can kind of say, like, well, I don't know where I am. So have you been feeling, Mandy, I don't know where I am? I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am here. I don't know where I am physically. I don't know where I am spiritually. I feel like I don't know where the heck am I is kind of how I feel when I tap into you. And I feel like they're saying you've gone deeper. You've gone deeper in with your spiritual journey. You've gone deeper with your healing. You've gone deeper with friendships. You've gone deeper. And with this new depth, it kind of feels like, holy crap, I don't know where I am anymore. Mandy, am I able to express that clearly to you? And is that resonating, Mandy? Because I feel that's how it feels, and they're showing me as a depth and growth. And I love that. I'm also feeling a little bit of lower back pain there, Mandy, and it feels like energy. So is your lower back or your lower hip or your lower, like, I'm right around that rib cage area, like, but more towards my back area. And I feel like it's just a little bit of energy that you're holding on to, that you've been releasing. Um let's see where we go. I have to watch the time, you guys. I have to get to work. I just want to scroll down for some evidence or if anybody has any questions on what I've said. So I'm just gonna go down to the bottom and work my way up. Um, Kayla, you just answered some of my questions that I've had in my head. I think a message from Spirit about going back to school was also for me. Yeah, collective energy, right? And quite often that happens a lot. Somebody will ask a question and it resonates with a whole bunch of people. And I love that so much. Janine, with the future feeling and so uncertain, I think lots of folks are considering school right now to improve their situations. Absolutely. And I also feel it in as a growth too. I feel it as a growth. Some of us, didn't have the opportunity at certain crossroads in our life to do certain things, and I think we're being pushed into that energy of what do you want to be when you grow up? It's okay to change, right? Um, Wendy, that's really cool to hear. I know I've been more interested and pulled to know more about the moons. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Peyton, yes, it does make a lot of sense. She declined suddenly. Yeah, that's how it felt. I felt like I was a little bit like I felt like I wasn't great, and then I felt like I went like that. Thank you so much. You're very welcome, Peyton. I know my case is not the only case that they're working on, so patience is a big key in my situation. Yes, it is a big and sometimes spring, and I'll say this very lovingly, sometimes we get tired of being patient, right? But when there so I always lean back into there's a reason for the hold the line, right? And I get it, right? So in allowing that feeling impatient to come and go and just kind of leaning back into, okay, this is for the right place for me. The right place needs a pause, right? Perhaps people are moving out of the place that you're getting, or perhaps there's a whole bunch of perhapses that we can lean into, but I just kind of need to lean into trusting that. Um, okay, I'm gonna grab a couple more questions. I'm gonna scroll back up to where I was. Sorry, you guys. I'm just gonna come back up. My sister passed away last week. The spirit have any messages for her? My mom. Oh, Janine. Our deepest condolences, Janine, from myself and from all of us here. Um, Janine, first of all, she goes, and this is how I I don't know if she was very talkative with her hands, but first of all, she goes, "It's all right." And I feel like an energy of like in charge, kind of, and I feel like I've got this huge smile on my face when she does it. It's all right. I'm good. I also feel like like there's just like this blanket, and it's like a light purpley pink that she's got you and mom wrapped in. She's holding you in a lot of love and light while you go through the grieving. She's also very, very, very. She's very bossy in a loving way. In a loving way, she's like, take your time, but no, I'm here. Right. She's very gentle yet bossy. But she's got you wrapped and she keeps tightening it. I'm holding you. I'm holding you and I'm holding you. I also need to say I heard you. I heard you. So I don't know if it's you or mom isn't sure that she heard you, but she heard you. I got to be really, really clear on that. And I'm okay. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of physical touch, like with her. I feel like you're going to feel her physically because she keeps touching. So I just feel like watch for that brush up against. Is there something in my hair? I just felt that closeness. I feel like she's really, really, really close and will stay really, really, really close. It's like she's right in, right in there. Um, I also feel, and I don't know if it's for you or for mom. I I don't know if it's you or Janine or mom that struggles with feelings, not just with her passing, but in general. She's just saying work through them. You will work through all these feelings. Work through them. She's holding the space for that as well. And she keeps pulling me back to this blanket. So I'm curious if you know why she keeps bringing it's like a purpley pink and she's adding like glitter to it. Like it's got like a star glitter in it. It's best I can describe it. It's almost like when a blanket has like a shine. There's the word I'm looking for. It's got like a shine to it, and it even has that texture of a shine of something that's shiny. She keeps pulling that in, so I'm curious if you know why she keeps showing me that, Janine. Okay, you guys, I have to get ready for work soon. So I know there's a bunch of questions that I didn't get back to. Um, I love you so much, and I work very hard to get to as many questions I can with the schedule that I'm looking at today. Let's go to the books. Let's pull angel numbers first. Let's do some angel numbers. And I feel the need to do a few. 137. You've done it. Your prayers and visualizations have put you on the right path. Just keep following your guidance and keep affirming a positive outcome. I love that one. Oh, 133. Literally the next page over. You've had nothing to fear or worry about, as the ascended masters are completely supporting and surrounding you in all ways. One more. 462. The angels ask you to keep the faith about your prayers being answered. The angels are working behind the scenes to help you, as you'll soon see. Love it. I love it so much. Philby, Highland, I'm supposed to start nursing school this Friday after earning my bachelor's and working in that field. Congratulations, darling. Um, I've had no inherent interest in the past 2 years. I don't know if it's the right move. I feel like you feel the pull. So when I kind of peel away, Shelby, and and I've got a nursing background myself, it's a wonderful career. And I feel like you've got a lot of balance in able to navigate that kind of career. I feel that pull. So I have to go back into just like putting all the questions down, and can you feel the pull? So put down all the questions and go back to what's pulling you. Can you feel that pull? Okay. And it's funny because literally her name jumped out at me. That was funny. Bruce, this is a time of good fortune. Phew. So be receptive to and appreciate all the good things that come to you. Call on your ancestors for their guidance and protection. And once you do so, you'll notice a significant increase in your spiritual awareness. Reread some of your favorite fairy tales. Ooh, I like that. And legends, and see what new meanings you can get from them now as an adult. Write creative and imaginative stories, either about actual experiences you've had or those that you make up. Even though it may not always appear to be so, you are very well protected. Excuse me. The Canada Goose. Lose your inhibitions and sing or chant as loudly as you can. Listen closely for any omens that show up as sounds or conversations you hear. Snow Goose. You're about to travel to a familiar place, one you haven't been to for a while, but this time you'll view it with fresh eyes. Let go of whatever you kept that is no longer purposeful. Great messages this morning. Great messages this morning. Me and all my Descendant Goose movies. Canada Goose, rude Canadian honker. Rude Canadian honker. Oh my gosh. They're confident. They are confident, right? And they're honking. They're confident. When you think about their energy, they take no BS either, right? They do stand their grounds, and I love that. I literally hear like a bellowing kind of laugh commonly coming from the matriarch. I love that so much. I always appreciate you and your group here, sending love to all. I love you guys so much too, and thanks for joining me. If you had a good time, thumbs up. Let's see what I'm doing on Wednesday. I didn't check. Let's see, am I here Wednesday? I know I'm definitely not here Friday for an Ask the Medium. I'm not here. Wednesday is the 14th. I will be here Wednesday morning with bells on. Maybe I'll try. Depends on how the channeling goes. If there's more to the energy update, quite often Spirit will add to what I've channeled. But maybe on Wednesday I'll try and hold a little bit of time for just ask the medium questions. I just go with the flow. Um, you guys are so funny. Canadians got bears, and I don't know what, but no, they avoid geese more than bears in Canada. There's not bears everywhere here, Shy. Yes, we have some bears, but they're not wandering around everywhere. I missed you guys. It was good to get caught up. It was great to spend some time with you all this morning. Um, remember what I said. If you're feeling lonely, lean into it. Right? Give yourself that time. And it only takes. I have to read it again. I think I'm going to make this a post-it note that I'm gonna stick to my phone or my screensaver. It only takes one star to light the sky. And on that, if we all light our light, if we all shine brightly, think of how bright the world will be, right? Love it so much. Felt so good to be here. This community is my safe place. I've missed you all so much. Love to you all. As always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care.